Okay, there's a story here that I would really like to get behind as a show and as a series of shows. I think that we should find out first about these truckers and then stand behind them. This is the number one story on the Blaze right now. A group of truckers are reportedly planning to shut down Washington. They're shutting it down for 3 days starting October 11th to protest, quote, the corruption against the Constitution. The organization is, quote, Truckers to Shut Down America. That Facebook page has more than 16,000 likes, and it is unclear how many truckers actually intend on taking part in the disruptive protest. Follow me to stop the corruption against Constitution. A 3-day trucker strike. The American people are sick and tired of corruption that is destroying America. Therefore, we declare a general strike on the weekend of October 11th through the 13th. Truck drivers will not haul freight. Americans can strike in solidarity with the truck drivers. The group's description reads, in a YouTube video and link to the Truckers to Shut Down America Facebook page, the event is labeled as a general strike by the American people against the federal government and its whatever. The narrator in the video says he's received word from others that truckers are organizing and are going to shut down Washington, D.C. It's too early to tell if the strike will be successful, reports The Blaze, but shutting down the nation's capital would certainly have a huge impact whether you agree or disagree with the tactic. Facebook page provides some additional information on the motive behind the action, which ranges from universal health care to the IRS scandal to Benghazi. My fellow patriot, this effort is to support the truckers in a major shutdown of America, a 3-day strike of October 11th through the 13th. The president's health care will be in effect, and most people will be ready to take action. No commerce on those days to stock up on items that you will need. No banking, no shopping, no money transactions. If it doesn't matter if 1 million or 50 roll through D.C. in this effort, Congress will listen to we the people. Remove the president from office for high crimes of treason and misdemeanors. Congressional hearing on Benghazi and SEAL Team 6. Lois Lerner needs to be put in jail. No amnesty. Remove all Muslims from our government that do not uphold the Constitution. That's the only one that I kind of think is a little reckless here, but it does say does not uphold the Constitution. I would not make it Muslims. I would make it any person that doesn't uphold the Constitution. Remove Eric Holder from office for crimes against the people and the Constitution. Last but not least is the price of fuel. Do you agree with those? Can you get behind those?
Yeah, certainly some of them, yeah.
Well, which ones can't you?
Can you give them one more time?
Congressional hearing on Benghazi and SEAL Team 6.
Yes.
That would be great.
Lois Lerner should be put in jail.
Well, trial first, and then...
Well, yeah. She should be tried.
She should further investigation.
Yeah.
Sure.
No amnesty, and I don't know what this one means. No amnesty. Oh, no amnesty for the border.
Illegals.
Yeah, I'm for that. Remove all Muslims in our government that do not uphold the Constitution.
No, I think like you, I would change that to remove anyone who doesn't uphold the Constitution.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remove Eric Holder from office for crimes against the people and the Constitution.
Yes.
I'd like him removed from office, yes.
And last but not least is fuel prices. I'm for all of those except for the Muslim thing. I'm for any Muslim this what we reported last night, not really reported. Not really reported. The Muslim Brotherhood guy who has just been promoted in the Department of Homeland Security. And you know that we don't have a replacement for the Department of Homeland Security chief now, right? You know that we're flying without any real... I think out of the 50 top jobs, how does this work? Out of the 50 top jobs, like half of them are unfilled. 15 of the really top jobs, gone. Just nobody's watching the store. Who's running the Department of Homeland Security? And at that same time, a really nasty Muslim Brotherhood guy has just been promoted within. And he's one of the guys he is the guy who got the FBI to drop all of the stuff on Islam, got the Pentagon to drop all the stuff, the CIA can no longer train on any of this stuff. That guy just got promotion in the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, we've got a real problem. Let me go to Rob in Florida. Hello, Rob. You're on the Glenn Beck program.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, in short, my name is Rob Mariani, and I am the executive producer and host of a show that ran on Speed called American Trucker. And I don't think there's a bigger supporter of the American trucker in the United States than myself. I listened to you this morning, caught the story about the truckers going to Washington, and figured I got to jump on the line and talk to Glenn.
Okay, so what's the deal, Rob? Do you know about this?
I'm a big supporter of you guys, Glenn, and I don't know until you just started telling me about it, but the more I kept hearing your words and reading that article, the more I want to get involved in this. I can tell you that the American truckers did strike in 1972, and it was a pretty damn big deal in this country. And if they're going to make a stand in Washington, then I definitely want to go in there and help them lead the charge. And I certainly know hundreds, if not thousands, of truck drivers.
Okay, well, hold on just a second, Rob. Let's get your information so I can put you in touch with somebody at the Blaze.
Could something like this work?
Follow. I think, yeah. I mean, if the truckers decide, I mean, look, you know, my thing with the truckers after September 11th, you'll remember Jeffy and Stu, that I said, you know, we don't need Department of Homeland Security. We need to see something, say something from the truckers. The truckers are the ones moving. They know what's going on. They see what's happening. They see what's moving across the country. And, you know, you get the truckers to strike, you stop the American economy. You really do. You stop it. Do you know how many times your grocery store is restocked? 5 times a day on average. You stop trucks from coming into grocery stores for 3 days, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. That's why people, when we talk about food insurance and everything else, we say, you don't know how fragile this system is. You stop trucks for 3 days in this country, you won't recognize your stores because everything will shut down because the truckers come in and replenish everything. So yeah, they could have a huge impact. And the ones who are really impacted by the price of gasoline and everything else, the truckers. I mean, they've got, you know, they're the ones on the front line. Go to the truck stops. Watch these guys, the truck stops. See what they're doing in the middle of the night. I always wanted to be a trucker. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a trucker. I don't think I could do it because my back now and stuff. But I told my wife, I said, someday I'd like to retire. I'd just like to be a trucker. I'd never be able to do it because I would be too. I'd be like, I ain't doing that job. You know,
too lazy.
I think I was just would just want to drive the big truck without anything in it because they work way too hard, way too hard.
Yeah,
and they get raked over the coals and screwed too many times. But I think this is a really good thing if it's a legitimate list of things that are reasonable. I mean, I'm bothered only by the Muslim thing. I'm bothered by that. But I understand what they're saying, the Muslim Brotherhood. And again, anybody, I mean, you don't have to be a Muslim to not, you know, stand by the Constitution. I mean, geez, we've got Joey, as those Catholics like to call Joe Biden. You know, you've got a Catholic that doesn't agree with the Constitution now. You got a few Mormons in there that don't agree with the Constitution. It seems. You got, you've got a few atheists that don't believe in the Constitution. So it's not a religion. The key here is you don't buy into the Constitution. You shouldn't be in Washington. You don't understand the Constitution and not like, I love the Constitution, but there's some days when you just got to do what you got to do. Nope. Get the hell out. Constitution now and forever. Truckers, pass this on and keep us informed. Let us know at theblaze.com. I don't know. We're just talking about this trucker strike, this possible trucker strike, starting on October 11th for 3 days to stop the corruption against the Constitution. They want to shut down D.C. and Pat just said they're only talking about D.C., aren't they? I don't know. I think they are, but I mean, you could really do serious damage.
That'd have some impact on the country.
Yeah, that's when the federal government would federalize all truckers. They would. You remember, that's what the unions did, and Ronald Reagan broke it up. He federalized the
air traffic
controllers. Said you can't strike because you're going to shut it down. That's exactly what this president would do. If you really had a serious trucker strike, he would federalize all of the. Oh, wouldn't it be great if we could be in the trucking industry too? Because then we could sell the clean cars that GM is making. We could just have them make them into trucks, and then we could make so much. We could make a killing if we just took over everything. Wouldn't that be great?
You know, Bloomberg's about to be out of a job. I hate to point out someone who would be really good to run this program. But he already did all this with the cabs and the buses in New York. He's already made them clean. What if we get him involved? This is not something like this turns out well in the end, does it?
No.
This all of a sudden makes me think like it's a terrible
scary
idea.
It's
Why?
a little scary.
Bloomberg's going to be free to create and help. We could get him now just full time working with all the mayors to get the guns out while taking over the trucking industry. Let me go to Wanda in Oklahoma, who is a trucker. Hello, Wanda.
Hi, Glenn, and you couldn't be further from the truth about the federal government taking over trucking. They're already doing it incrementally. The Federal Highway Administration has the power by decree to pass the laws that govern our industry. There's no congressional vote required. They have the power to write the law, and they do.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hang on just a second. What I said was, because there's a proposed trucker strike October 11th through the 13th demanding a return to the Constitution. I am fully for this. And I support the truckers. But what I said was they'll use this as a reason to federalize all of the truckers. And you're claiming that they already have.
They already are working on that. They're doing it incrementally. But this could be the catalyst that pushes it over the edge, where they do like they did the air traffic controllers. But I support this. I think we need to stand up, and we need to stand up for constitutional rights, because I believe the Federal Highway Administration acts unconstitutionally.
I agree with you. It's not just that administration; it is all of them. The balance of power, the head of the eagle for the administrative branch has eaten the legislative and has eaten the judicial, and it's completely out of control. Thanks, Wanda, and I appreciate it. By the way, I just hung up on her. I'm sorry. I'd love to hear from truckers if they knew about this. This story is the #1 story now on the Blaze, and I'd love to know if truckers knew about this and are planning on participating.